She was a busy head teacher used to zipping around in her sports car. But after suddenly losing her sight 3 years ago, Julie Thomas says that these days, weeks can go by without her leaving her home. She's dependent on public transport, but services where she lives in South Wales just aren't accessible enough. Now, she and a group of other disabled passengers have met transport bosses to demand change. For the latest in our series on No Go Britain, Katie Razzle went to meet Julie to hear why she says enough is enough.
At the very beginning, when it happened very, very quickly. I lost my sight within a few months. It was actually devastating. I don't think I could actually put it into words. I mean, I had a really nice, a nice, normal, great life. And all of a sudden, I have nothing.
3 years ago, Julie Thomas's life as she knew it ended. And this mother of three found it difficult to find a way through.
I literally sat on my settee and just grieved and didn't move for about 6 months. I just wallowed in a sort of hole of self-pity, really. I can't really describe it in any other way. My children are the reason I came out of it. And I talked to them about
She's had to relearn the world since it went dark. Even taking a bus is a real challenge.
You might be able to see that the footpath actually finishes here, so you've got a grass verge.
So if you want to take a bus, you can't get much further than here?
Not on my own.
Well, should we try together?
Yeah, that would be fine.
I walked with Julie across the grass towards the next obstacle, as she puts it, the busy road that divides her from the bus stop.
What happens here?
You're stuck.
Julie says she can't cross alone, but these days, even if she does reach the bus stop, this mother of three won't get on the bus.
Anyone else getting on?
No, thank you.
Her confidence knocked after a bad experience when a passenger made lewd suggestions and the driver didn't help her.
He was being very obscene and saying, come and sit on my lap, Lev, I could do this to you and this type of thing. And it wasn't just the one comment, he kept going on and on. I came home and I was very upset and that was it, I was not going on the bus again.
This is Julie's story, but hers is not the only tale of frustration and isolation. She's part of a coalition of disabled people here in Bridgend, brandishing their written demands for change. Up for a grilling, representatives from local bus, train and taxi companies. Also in the room, a sign of how seriously politicians say they take the issue, the Welsh First Minister Carwyn Jones.
People here haven't been aggressive, they've been polite, but they have been firm. This is their chance to grill local transport bosses and get some answers.
In amongst them, Julie Thomas, who tells the audience her idea. Bus drivers should be trained to inform visually impaired travellers which seats are free as they board. It would make all the difference, she says, and it seems the bus company is listening.
It just hit home straight away to me, and that's something we've got to take back and we've got to say to our staff, because that is such a simple thing to deliver for the driver. And I think it's something we can do straight away.
At home, Julie Thomas has a talking computer to keep in touch with the outside world. But she's gone from being a successful professional and outgoing mother to someone rather different.
You stay in your house a lot. And I think that happens a lot with a lot of people with disabilities. They become very isolated.
Is that
very
how you
isolating? Feel? Well, I do. I mean, I can spend weeks at a time where I don't go out at all.
It's such a change from her life as a head teacher. Campaigning for better public transport drives Julie Thomas on, though. Her sense of frustration is shared by many. It's the main issue disabled people complain about here.
I'm not any different a person than I was 3.5 years ago. I'm exactly the same person. I now just have no sight. So I don't see why I should be treated any differently, and I am. And I find that really wrong.
Julie Thomas wants her independence back. She really believes better public transport will help, and she wants everyone to listen. In Wales, this inspirational campaigner's voice is being heard. Katie Razzle, Channel 4 News in Bridgend.
And tonight's main news, the Bahrain Grand Prix passed off peacefully following a security crackdown. Armoured cars and riot police were used to arrest protesters. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Jonathan Miller and his team, who have been reporting on democracy protests in the country, were also arrested, and we're concerned for the fate of his Bahraini driver, who was detained. You can always chat to me direct on Twitter @Cathy Newman, but failing that, we're back tomorrow at 7. Until then, that's Channel 4 News. Good evening.